We are live.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Arizona Pirate Party Rally. I'm glad you're here to join us. We got food, drinks, also a pie, and some other things. We got pamphlets everywhere. And we are thankful for you to come. In 15 minutes, we will begin our first speech for the evening. And yeah, I thank you all for coming, and we'll see you in like 15 minutes.
Oh, you keep representing my legislative district.
Yeah,
Because I live all the way up in Catalina.
yeah, that's the state I'm
Yeah.
At this rate, I'm fortunate to have seen.
As much as I this one is next door. At least you're like getting it out and that, hey, you're someone who's for.
Oh yeah, it's not just about getting enough eyes on the party that we're trying people involved and resources get our help part of the because that's the end goal here. Like, it's not just like it's not end of the world. I mean, it's like this year is pretty perfect. This year for our campus so well because of what's happening administrative and how Democrats are going to have a blue wave of this elections and everything goes well. So it's like an opportunity at the same time. It is what it is. We're just not at the same holiday. I had in signatures and I think that they moved the deadline up 2 weeks, which kind of grew up into sort of late recommendation, especially when it's just doing it. I think what's what is I have like 6 days a year. It's all that collapse. I mean, the National Party chair is on there, but it's interesting. March 4th, 7th. So,
Just to say like, hey, I'm the youth representative, Democratic representative for the Arizona chapter. Like, people are being exposed when we're getting involved.
yeah. You can do that, yeah, for sure, but it's next time. Like, we can improve, if you can. I think it's
And there's like the ideas are getting out there, and I think that's the big thing.
oh, yeah.
There might be a little bit of overcourse, but I think just to be getting the ideas out there is important.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's what I.
Another thing I think would be good is like the posters.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work. But at the same time, I admit that as
Yeah.
like it should be. But
But you're only.
sure, very true.
You.
Anything you want to use? Because we underestimate how many people come. Yeah. You have to follow this where it's okay. Don't feel bad, it's what it is.
Sure.
It's a symbol, it's a very symbol of the right revolution. So it's,
I know this is gonna sound, I thought the T-box was. Yeah.
it kind of is, but, perfect. Really? Well,
The only thing for drinking is drinking.
go ahead.
Today is water is reminded me a little bit of spray.
I don't drink soda, I only drink water, so like, hey,
I'm trying to be off with the water.
yeah, I heard.
Electrolyte drinks.
I've only drink like water, coffee, and occasional lemonade here and there.
I'm kind of the same way, but I'm most areas just a little water.
But believe me when I say this, the sooner you quit soda, the better off you'll be, because I've been off it for like a good 10 years. If I try to drink, like Mountain Dew or something like that.
Is it okay?
Oh, we're perfect.
Do you have anything or?
We're good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You bet.
When I try to like drink it with soda, it's crap. Genuinely ass. So the sooner you can quit that, the easier it is for you to then go back. Because a lot of people who, keep drinking soda, they do that, it's because they're used to it since they were a kid.
I'm only really started drinking it because like, it was 13. Because like, it's your choice. When I got in the middle school, I was screw it. School living. I forgot my water bottle. I had a bit of 20 ounces.
Oh, it's convenient, don't get me wrong, it's definitely convenient. But that's how they get you, convenience is how we, it's,
Well, I believe, like, I go to school like the year I left here. Put more work out of this, took out the surgery.
oh, really, that's good.
Because they're trying to say, hey, we do this, like, y'all ain't creating it. So until you can get your behavior good again, we're taking away. I think it's still moving away. Every so often.
Huh. There's pepperoni here. Cheese here. I haven't had that one in a long time. I'll be straight. Go ahead. My feelings won't be hurt.
There is something like, if I find ways that you don't want it on the internet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Even out of my mind, I'm pretty sure you guys would.
I have some restraint, but I would need like some sort of
Yeah.
clue at the same time. It is double, but I don't know if it's double
Instead of
sided.
it being 2 pages, you could just do 2-sided.
That's not a bad idea. I think consider that. I just had the format because it was easy to.
But, I mean, it still would work the same way.
Mhm.
It would be double-sided.
Is there just a car that has a bumper sticker that says museums matter? And all the bumper stickers. I lost the 2 bumper stickers on my car.
Because that museum matter has
Yeah. Maybe we should look some Jeopardy music or something playing. Oh, it's okay. I can find something. Jeopardy music in the future, recommended or suggested. Or just like background music. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like dead air. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't consider that, but that's something for the future for your.
My lunch shake is over here. Yeah. I go to just in the parking lot. I mean, I have an orchestra rehearsal at 4:30. Oh, okay. Then I probably need to get there like 7 minutes late. Oh, okay. Wait, like double bass. Okay. And I have a 1997 Honda. Oh, okay. Accord. Wow. Okay. It's not fitting in there. Okay. But I already have it where I play. Oh, okay. So I'm debating. It's just a stupid run through with all the stuff I've already played. Okay. Yeah. So if I miss it or if I'm late, who cares? And I've already told my projector that, hey, I have a commitment that goes until 4, so okay. If I'm 4:30. So if I'm not there or if I'm late, I'm sorry. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Got this.
Woo!
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like this. I want to thank all those who have come. We appreciate every single one of you. I want to begin with a condemnation of what Trump's government has done to Iran. In conjunction with Israel, they attacked Iran with missiles and bombs at a time when Iran is arguably its most vulnerable, with an economic crisis, its government killing so many of its own citizens in the thousands, that rebelled, that it now faces or faced crimes against humanity. This was the prime opportunity for a better Iran to come out of it. And now this administration just threw it away with blood and fear to just show what? Strength, power, and for what? For innocents to die because Trump and Netanyahu couldn't help themselves but press the attack button? And Trump still has the pride and arrogance to call himself the peace president? And now this, which just further gives the Iranians, non-Americans, and anti-Americans alike more justification to say death to America, which just makes me sad and angry at those in power that has brought this forth because we have lost what America means. Everyone has their own opinions on what America means. The United States, or just simply the continents, but it is something way more than that. Something way more deep and powerful, as there has been nothing more exquisite than the experiment
of America, where all men and women can chart their own destiny to be free of the tyrannical shackles that try to bind them. We've all been disappointed by the United States. I know I have. I'll admit I was unwise and had my disillusionments with the United States a long time ago. I didn't know what America is or what it means to be an American yet. A lot of people confuse America with the nation of the United States, or of America, or that Americans are just citizens of that said country. That's not what America is, nor what it is to be an American. It's incomplete, rather. I understand the confusion, since we do take a very nationalistic viewpoint with how we define ourselves from other countries. French and English citizens define themselves easily as a nationalistic viewpoint because they have well over 1,000 years of doing so. But that's not America. There is no nationalistic viewpoint. A national identity, yes, but not nationalistic. It never existed. It exists within the United States, but not America herself. Quite simply, America is not a nation. The United States is, but not America. Never was, nor is it necessarily a people. It is something that can be, it is not something that can be taken, that can be destroyed, nor given. Nor can one country try to stump the light from its candle. No, what America truly is a creed, otherwise known to us as the American way. A creed that anyone from anywhere can be a part of, so long as one believes in the creed. Whomever follows that creed are the true Americans, not just a citizen of the United States. A Polish leftist from Danzig or an entrepreneurial Kenyan can be more American than some citizens living here. It's not restrictive. There are no borders, no immigration to worry about, no ethnicity, no racial divides. It doesn't hate you and wants to make you free. Free from all of the tyrants that wish to chain you down to the floor. The United States is just where we stand, our haven. America has no meaning, no identity, no political culture or history that is apart from its ideals of liberty, individuality, freedom, democracy, equality, and the pursuit of happiness, and the continuing efforts and practice of Americans to realize those ideals. We don't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag or super enthusiastic about America because we're nationalistic cultists. We do so because it is our commitment to that practice, to ensure that we believe in the creed, in the ideals we strive towards. That the United States is the first country to truly recognize that creed. Within a world of oppression and tyranny, it shined a light for us. Without the United States, we'd still be in darkness, hiding from those who wish to stamp us out. We've had our failures and those who've done nothing but to try and destroy it through the inside. They themselves didn't believe in our creed, or at least only for their own race or religion or culture, which is contradictory in itself. A bunch of Confederates, not Americans. Slavery, segregation, native genocide, the Confederacy, all sins that deserve its condemnation, and nothing can be done to pretend they weren't worse than they were. All fair criticisms from those who criticize the United States. Tyrants will always try to infiltrate, to tear us down, and destroy us as they are doing right now with this administration. Way too many Confederates in this administration rather than Americans, Trump being one of them. A dismissal of all of them is just as vile. But are we the sum of our failures and sins? Does that mean all is lost and we must give up the American experiment because of those horrid sins? That America is unforgivable and must be destroyed root and stem? I say that it's a cowardly, arrogant, and apathetic sneering to say yes to that. to throw that baby out with the bathwater with the arrogant, cowardly, and apathetic belief that burning the forest is the only way forward, to lay waste in order to establish what they believe is right, not the people, just them. The history books are filled with such examples, and they all end with the bodies of these apathetic, arrogant cowards in the gutters. Or for such cowards demand return what came before in the cry for stability and peace, when it is only quiet and cowardice. The French Revolution and Napoleon returning to the Bourbon monarchy, the Russian Revolution murdering the Romanovs only for Stalin to be a vile czar in all but name. All four marks of apathetic, arrogant cowards quitting so they can have such illusions of peace and stability or some ideological purity in hopes of a utopia that is rather a dystopia. For what is a utopia but a paradise for a specific ideology, not of all? Where they pull the wool over their eyes to blind them from the painful truth that liberty, equality, freedom, the pursuit of happiness are fragile things that must be fought for with the utmost vigilance and obstinance. Our republic depends on us being such, that giving up on it because of our horrid failures is a mark for cracks in the dam. A single crack in it opens the floodgates to such apathetic, arrogant cowards to demand return to something that never was, or to cry for a forest fire because our horrid sins make us not good enough, choosing them to define us by it. And such liberty, equality, and freedoms die all because they want their peace and safety or their ideological purity, not realizing the danger that it brings. It is not the inhuman bondage of human beings that define us, nor does the ethnic cleansing of Native Americans, nor the many horrid sins we have committed. It is the continuous practice in the pursuit of liberty, equality, freedom, democracy, and the pursuit of happiness that defines us, that makes the American experiment worth the fight to keep going. And choosing to define us by our failures and sins is not a desire for that practice, but only for destruction and death. And one doesn't have to forgive our sins. There is no requirement for forgiveness. You are not owed to forgive, nor are we owed forgiveness. But we don't need to forgive in order to better ourselves. But to not forgive and to still be bitter, resentful, hateful, and wish America's destruction and death as a result is not wanting to be better. That is to be that arrogant, apathetic coward who wants destruction and illusions. For what is the arrogant, apathetic coward but a cold and timid, cynical soul that sneers at the man, the woman, the person in the arena who dare to do great and valiant things and ways, and rather chooses to define them by their sins and failures, albeit vile ones, and not the great achievements they have done. We can criticize the United States all we want, but let's not seek its destruction when we have come so far. Let's save our country, not let them take it away from us. We don't fight for any idea of nationalism. We don't fight for any power, for greed, for status, or any of that trivial nonsense. Some may do, but we don't accept them. They are banished exiles to us. We fight for our creed of liberty, freedom, democracy, the pursuit of happiness, equality, independence, and many other tenets it composes. And to ensure that haven remains our protector against tyrants and oppressors, even when they infiltrate among us to oppress fellow Americans, from those forced into cruel bondage by slave owners to those who are on the other end of pre-crime collective punishment. These tyrants are constantly challenged before they are thrown into the sea to drown in their own hubris and blood. Our creed will never die. It is not beholden to a single nation, no single nation can claim it. The United States could die tomorrow, and our creed remains. Our national identity is our creed. Our creed is our national identity, and it's a national identity that transcends all. That's the American way, where it is imbued, interwoven, and morphed into a republic that has been a multicultural nation since day Zero. A shining beacon of liberty and freedom for all to share in its light and pursue their own happiness. Where anyone from anywhere can be of this identity, of this creed, not just the United States. It cannot be killed nor obtained. It is immune to the tyrants who have tried to ruin it for centuries. It will never die until the sands of time take all. It is here to stay. And yet, the United States is at a crossroads. And at this crossroad, she is sick. A cancer eats her insides, paralyzing her, crippling her to see the self-harm she is doing to herself. But what cancer is this? An easy answer would be the mire of snakes who pose as false evidence. Elephants that currently hold the power of Congress, with their reins beholden by a gold-plated Caesar. They are compromised, and that cannot be overstated. Beholden by Trump, who is a pathological liar, who will say anything for support with a GOP who refuses to stand up to him. This cancer that eats this government and country starts and ends with those false elephants and their failures and their natural greedy desire for money and power and control. But that is only half the picture. To hold the donkeys in self-absorbed, self-righteous clothes not responsible for this cancer is to pull that wool over their eyes, because the two-party system is that cancer. One party more than the other, but a cancer nonetheless. Our system, bearing a few exceptions, have always presented a binary choice: Democrat or Republican. And this has been the case since the Civil War. And while it has brought us through great triumphs, it has always been in the vein of knowing that it will be the other party's turn at some point. 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, or more, they will have their turn based on that binary choice, that they will be in power once more. How is our country supposed to be what it needs to be when it is dependent on the whims of such dual consuls that may as well be tyrants? It is not change. It is not improving. It is a lie, a ruse, to keep you complicit and apathetic while they stay at their ivory towers, lording over us as we tear each other apart in more vicious ways than the last. Change can't always happen from the inside. Sometimes you must attack the fort head on instead of hoping for some spy to unlock the gates and to wait indefinitely. And to Democrats who scoff at my words, let me ask you this question. Let's say whoever it is you nominate for 28, Newsom, Pitzer, Gretschel, maybe AOC, wins the presidency in 28. That's great, correct? That the tyrant has been ousted and America is back. Now what? The presidency has shown to be a very untrustworthy authoritarian position in government for the past decade alone, if not longer. Something that has been a problem ever since Jackson defied the Supreme Court with the Indian removals. It has slowly but exponentially grown its authoritarian powers ever since the Civil War. And now it has finally reared its ugly head with Trump, and once we wrest this control from him before it's too late, we must do what we can to make sure it never happens again, right? That the presidency cannot be just a king unto itself and ignore the Constitution to do whatever they want. We have the Constitution to prevent this, and yet here we are. So what does that tell us? That the opposition either can't stop it or they want it for themselves, and a belief of going back to normal. There is no normal here anymore. You can't exactly pretend that you can go back to business as usual during Obama, right? That's what you tried with Biden, and yet here we are again. The status quo has to change, otherwise we will be right back here again, possibly with the worst Republican president. We can call Trump and the GOP tyrants until time stops, but what's the point of voting for you if you're not going to commit to a decentralized presidency to the point where this never happens again? Why should we vote for you if you just want to revert to the status quo pre-Trump? Or in simple terms, want the power for yourselves, like with Biden or Kamala or Hillary. None of this works. None of it. If whomever you nominate for president doesn't take a vested interest in decreasing their own power as the president, we're just going to be right back here again, where you call the president tyrant until you're blue in the face, when you could have stopped it by decreasing your own power. But you don't believe in that. Otherwise, you would have done it, and yet here we are. How are we supposed to trust that your words of resistance and fighting back are nothing but hollow, cowardly words, unless you want to decrease the power of the president and give that power back to the Congress? That means decreasing the authority of power and power of the executive orders, limiting the scope, scale, and reach of the president's war powers, banning unitary executive theory, giving more authority and power to Congress, and in turn abolitioning the filibuster so that Congress can actually do its job. Term limits, all those things that make Congress what it's always been. Not a bump in the road for the president to do whatever they want. If you're not only can commit to that, but also will fight tooth and nail to keep such powers for yourself when you become the president, then you're not as serious about stopping Trump. You just want your turn again. You just want power again because you think you'll do better. The DNC and the GOP are treating the presidency like a toy to share. Except the toy in question is the most dangerous toy on the planet, where the wrong time to share results in millions dead. And you may be right that you would do better, but that's not how it works, and you know that. You are not entitled to anyone's vote. And all of this, it only shows that they are incapable of standing up to Trump and his sycophants, whether by choice or not willing to sacrifice. Why should we continue to support such cowards who don't even know the meaning of the word sacrifice? 10 years ago was the birth of our revolution, and brought forth the ideas we believe and have fought for since then. Many trials, tribulations, and many regretful sins since then. But we have come out of it as the leader of the free world, the arsenal of democracy, of liberty. And we have neglected it, or worse, gotten bored of it, trying to find some new thing to fight for. And here we are now with one reactionary half trying to drag the country back into the 1950s, if not the 1850s. Warts and all. And the other half just wants to be a stopgap, again for the glory of the status quo. Our complacency and apathy is why we are here with that incompetent duopoly. Do we, with eyes, see not, and with ears, hear not the corrupt swines and snakes devouring our country into bits and pieces through controlled oppression and resistance, where both the oppression and resistance is mutual in order to satisfy us for a period of time before they repeat once more? Are we to truly believe that these acts from both parties are acts of love? No, they are nothing more than bread and circuses, while they steal the grain from under our feet, while they point to the immigrant as an easy target to blame. Except now the bread is stale and the circuses are boring. How many times do they need to blame the immigrants and poor people, and even pointing fingers at each other, before their words become hollow, if not already? We see those words, hollow words, already, and yet why do we allow this nonsense to continue year after year with no change nor push for it? Because of us. Because we are afraid to make that third choice, to say no, someone else. How many times have many people in this country complained about the binary choice, the lack of choices, the lack of parties to choose from, the same merry-go-round over and over again? There's the desire for it in this country. No one can truly deny it. But we don't, because our political system of election, a winner take all, first past the post, single winner creates this cowardly prisoner's dilemma, where we decry and whine about the two-party system, but when to put up or shut up come election time, when the chips are down, we fall prey to vote for those two every time out of fear that you are throwing away your vote for voting for someone else. Then we go right back to where we are. And back to complaining about it again and then rinse and repeat. That if you vote for X third party or Y third party, that vote goes to the other major party that could have gone to them, out of some weird sense that they are entitled to your vote. Well, I don't know how many of you who need to hear this, but no one is entitled to your vote, nor do you deserve blame for them not, nor do they deserve blame for them not voting for them. Only you can vote for who you believe in. Your vote is your vote, no matter the system or how pointless it may feel. They only have themselves to blame for failing to win you over. You can if you want to, but you won't. You always had. It has always been just a choice. A choice that many are afraid to make, since we've been convinced that the mathematically possibility makes it a waste of time when no vote is a waste of your time. That we need ranked choice voting and proportional representation before voting for third parties. But that is only half of the problem that is exemplified everywhere there is ranked choice voting and proportional representation. And that other half is that when given them, we still vote for the two parties anyway, because we are still too afraid to choose something different. Both halves of the country are still going to be Democrats and Republicans after it, without a third party being there for them to choose, let alone afraid to choose. Those who complain about the third parties being spoilers, or whine about someone voting for a third party was never going to vote for a third parties anyway. They're just Democrats or Republicans. If one only votes Democrat or Republican despite having another option, despite ranked choice, despite proportional representation for so long, for so many times, then they're a Democrat or a Republican. At some point after so many elections, you are who you vote for. So why would they whine and complain about third parties when they wouldn't even vote for them anyway and feel entitled to votes that didn't go their way? Or do everything they can to make it harder for us to get on the ballot? There is a word for that: apathetic cowardice. The only way to win at a prisoner's dilemma is to not play it, even if it may not bring the immediate results we want. Eventually, the prisoner's dilemma will fail with more people refusing to play it. The most brave thing we can do now is to not play that binary choice, cowardly prisoner's dilemma, and actually choose something different. Enough cowardice, enough timidness, enough negativity, enough cynicism, enough apathy. We've had enough of it. We choose it enough. It is time for a new party to step up to the plate to lead the United States in a new age. Free of the sins and the shame committed by bad people in the name of our beloved country. We need to reinvent ourselves. We have done so many times in the past 250 years. The 1780s, the 1790s, the Revolution of 1800, the 1820s, the 1840s, the Civil War, the turn of the 20th century with Teddy, World War I, the 1920s, the Great Depression of World War II, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and all the way up to the 2020s. And the 2020s have been marked in misery and apathy so far. And not only through reinvention can we change that, and that starts with each individual person, every one of you. But why us? Why us instead of the Libertarians, the Greens, the Forward Party? No labels. because we believe in a society that is free and open, where the comments can be shared and appreciated by all. And we fight for a world where your privacy is a consequence of justice, not a luxury provided by the state. We're not politicians. We're your fellow neighbors, your average Joes. We are optimists. We believe in a better America. We don't sneer at life and being an American as the cold and timid nihilistic cynics do. While the major parties are entirely influenced by capital gain and subservient to their big money donors, we are entirely kept afloat by small money donors who believe in our message. GOP, DNC, they gave our taxpayer money to the wolves and vultures and pigs and snakes that destroyed our future in 2008 and 2020, while claiming to stand for us as they squeeze every single cent out of us for their greed and avarice. And they have the gall to say they stand for the people. They have not stood for the people in decades, and they want us to go around this merry-go-round again? And for what? To what end? Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss and be deceived, dear friends. The revolution cannot come through one of the main parties. It will be overpowered and killed. The revolution must come from the outside the gates this time, through another party. There is no clever Trojan horse trick where one of the parties will be usurped and the gates will be open for us. We must assault the walls head on this time. Bring all our power to bear and to tear down the walls that gatekeep us from the change we desire. Not a continuation of the status quo. And what is the status quo but lies, controlled resistance, broken promises? No, we can't wait. While selling our future away to those who want us in chains. And an inequality gap that grows every day exponentially and forces us to be renting serfs. Never owning anything in our lives, just rent and more rent and rent. That is not acceptable anymore. These two parties, these oligarchs in corporate empty suits that own them, they're not smarter than us. They're not more talented than us. They're not even more powerful than us. They're just greedier than us, with control in their hands. We must wrench that control away from the betterment of everyone. We have to do something about it, even if some of us have to stand alone. We will be the man in the arena where they both failed to be. For true liberty and freedom is not waiting around in apathy for it to come, but to rather seize it for all. Liberty will reign in America once more. Liberty is no longer for a single person to taste. We have all tasted it, and we are being denied it. Our creed, our national identity is dying, and we need to fight for it even stronger, louder, before it dies and blows into the wind. I speak for all when I demand to the dual tyrants that gatekeep us from the liberty we have been denied. Welcome to the new age. It's now or forfeit. If buying isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft. Thank you.
Hello and good afternoon. I'm Jay. I'm the Arizona Pirate Party's Young Pirates representative. And I'm also a student at Ironwood Ridge High School. To start this off, it is important to realize that modern generations, my generations, have grown up in a world that has not known true stability, be it general or political stability, at all. I live in a post-9/11 world. I live in a post-Columbine world. I live where it is very uncommon to to not have more school shootings than there are days at school. I live in a world that is faced with almost unstoppable climate change if we don't act now. Columbine, 9/11, the countless school shootings that have followed, and the countless other terror attacks have simply made this world mentally uninhabitable. Now, with threats of world leaders blatantly disregarding their country's laws, but also international law on war, it makes the doomerism of Gen Z and the generations that have followed grow exponentially. It is sad to see a country I call home and have called home my entire life become nothing more than a global laughingstock. It is sad when almost every day on the news I see and watch women, children, and non-military personnel get killed for living in an area that my country, the US, doesn't agree with their leaders' policy. That is not only a violation of American law, international law, not just international law, the Geneva Convention. Thinking about why that was written, it was written because of the Holocaust and Nazi Germany's actions during the Second World War. If you don't see the parallels between now and the 1930s and 40s, what rock are you living under? Because to some extent, let me join you. Let me be ignorant of the suffering that is going on. Let me stay a child. Let me not have to witness the suffering that is going on globally. Not just globally, domestically as well. And as hyperbolic as I might sound as a 16-year-old, look to places like Palestine and Gaza with Israel's actions, or in Ukraine with Russia's actions. Not just foreignly too. Look at domestically. Look at what the US has done here in the US and globally for the past 70 years. That is longer than my grandparents have been alive. 3 generations of my family have known where the US has been a ultimately violent global power. And dare I claim, any world leader in the modern age that claims war and acts on it is not only committing unlawful acts of war, but is also committing psychological terrorism on the youth. Because why should children be afraid that their parents or siblings or even themselves could get shipped off to war or be killed? And as Americans, we pride ourselves on rooting out global terrorists, and we pride ourselves on overcoming terrorist attacks, like the Oklahoma City bombing or the 9/11 attacks. But how can we truly overcome terrorism? How can we truly root out the terrorists if they sit in our governmental bodies and are a part of them? Look at what's been happening in Minnesota with ICE. Look at the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Are you not seeing the parallels to Nazi Germany and fascist Italy? They killed people who did not support the parties in power. Now, I do not offer many solutions. And to an extent, I can't. I'm a high schooler. I can't vote. And even if I could, I am one of 390 million people. My vote is going to make little to no difference. But collectively, if we work together and start grassroots, we can make a change. It might not be a change globally. It might not be a change nationally. It might not even be a change at your state level. But it could be a change local. And all movements start local. Now, I am not claiming that however this change takes place will make America perfect. It has never been perfect. America started off as a colonial power. Colonial powers have never truly been great countries, but they profited off of genocide and slavery. But I am claiming America could be better. Better for
us now and better for our children and for our future. Better for the immigrant and for the citizen, for the crop picker and for those who eat the crops that have been picked, for the student and for the graduate, for one's family and for the child, for the parent, for the liberal and the progressive, for the Democrat, for the Republican, for the moderate, for the politically unaffiliated, for the conservative and for the Republican. We need everyone to put aside which party you stand with and work together. This change will not happen unless we work together. Talk to your neighbors. Learn what they need. Learn what they struggle with. And I understand sometimes that might be difficult, especially if you're someone who is in a marginalized group and you don't feel comfortable talking to a Republican or a conservative. But one of the very first steps to ending this political instability that has plagued this world for the better part of 40 years is to talk to one another. So, I am not deeply religious, nor do I often quote religious texts, but I think the Bible does offer a very good nugget of wisdom. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, it doesn't matter if your neighbor is different than you or the same as you. Love them. Wish them well. So act for your neighbor. And if you don't, who are you acting for? Act for yourselves. Act for your children, not the tyrants that are in our government and run the world. Thank you.
No.
I believe podcast.
We can put that.
You get people on talk, different people from different like parties, stuff like joining it. We've all other people like guests or something.
It's not a bad idea.
On a podcast, it's literally with people always like radio.
I'm not a lot of research on the podcast, so I will, well, that's definitely gonna, yeah. A host, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
We just have a role in how it's going.
Is this family then?
You are?
No.
Coming up very shortly, to publish 2025, publish the third.
Hmm.
Country we're looking at right now is pretty much going to war right now. It's going to be a lot of.
Yeah. Take those, sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of posts on like TikTok and YouTube shorts saying, oh yeah, thanks to the monster. And that's generally in the military, if you get like really good food, and you generally ship it out to war.
Oh, God.
So morale booster. Look, not so much a morale booster, but to you, but eventually, oh yeah, you're going to war. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sucks, for sure. Very good. I would say so. Well, completely. So, we could bring a few games. I don't know if any of you would be interested. Where's this chess?
And checkers.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Reading the Palantir.
Hey,
Football calendar.
There's a big chance of Katie Vance might become the next president. He's already backed by Palantir. That's
I'm gonna be president, but
so.
Keep that evil away from the presidency. It's better not be speaking.
Got set up, but I think Palantir pretty much made people like Katie Vance.
you know.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So I want to say not doing that, not doing it because of Palantir. Yeah.
And the fact that Vance was firmly against Trump, then also changed. He just didn't just.
I wouldn't really trust him for
Yeah.
that fact. Yeah, but that's part of it.
Like, I could see you do something similar to like, just like what Nixon's Southern strategy happened. And like, say, I'm an old party Republican, and then, oops, Southern strategy happens, I'm not considered a Democrat. I can understand something like that happen.
Mhm.
But that happened like 60 to 70 years ago.
Yeah,
So I don't think,
that excuse is not gonna work very well.
yeah,
I think like both parties are, I think people used to be more Republican than they were Democrats.
Mhm.
There's always been, the Republican Party was more, a better representative than Democrats until they kind of took the stream to make, I don't know, the Republicans became more racist and then possibly more
It's called
Democrat.
a switch, but in my opinion, it's more of a shift. In the sixties where, well, you know, like the states that usually men shifted to different ways. Like a Southern security, that's what called it.
yeah.
I think it's one of the unique things.
Yeah, they used to be an anti-slavery party until Nixon. And he was like, hey, there's all these people, like all the pro-slavery Democrats that are in there. And then after the Civil Rights Act, like most, like black people moved up to like more progressive areas.
Yeah.
And so due to like white flight, people who just moved down to the south. Not the way, I will never move to the south.
You don't think you're in the South right now? We're like
I mean-
the border, not,
Well,
not the deep South, I don't think I.
we're being technical with that.
Yeah.
When I say south, I mean like
Alabama.
Texas to East.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. Okay, the Midwest and the South.
Arizona doesn't really count.
Okay, I was other people live here.
We're more West Coast than anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whereas I've heard, like, some people from camp, there's some Canadians that went to my school that I, in my world history classes, and they're like, this is the Mexican way.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So would they call themselves Mexican? I don't know.
They just call it the Mexican South to differentiate from the Deep South.
Okay, never mind. That makes sense then, of course.
When you say South to a Canadian, they assume like you're talking about the whole southern region of the US. There's comic songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was, oh,
I would go like large pepperoni cheese. I overestimated how many people would show up. Yeah.
Definitely, I'm a product. I feel the piece of myself.
You're welcome to any boxes if you want. I just need a seat.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you have a, is this an LLC please? How are you set up?
And
Are you a corporation, or are you a
We have our-
LLC, or are you a S corp, or what?
we have our articles of incorporation where established as a profit.
Oh, okay. So you're like probably,
There will be like seven organization. I guess we're,
Yeah, because nonprofits can be for, like,
right,
501, 503s can be for all the 502 7.
It's 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And we filed that a long time ago, so that's covered. We just need to make sure everything is spent properly documented. And, donations, everything, documented, all that. Yeah. So the treasurer, whoever can be a treasurer is gonna be like very vetted. Yeah, it's like definitely dealing with money.
Are you really making protests?
I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, or like rallying there?
You know what it is, because now that I have my license,
28th of March, maybe? I think it's in the.
Yeah, it's March 20th.
you know what time?
No,
Because if I can go, I'd much rather go get home and play games on my PlayStation.
we tabled at the No Kings protest in June,
Yeah.
last June, so we could definitely do that.
But whenever I see anti-Kings or no Kings protesters or anti-ICE protesters along I-9 or Gantry, I always honk my horn or do a thumbs up.
Perfect. Good job.
Very good, thanks.
I'm scared to know how many people are potentially watching.
Well, it says only 2 people.
Oh, okay.
You'll post it.
Oh, it's live. It's live. It's going on right now.
So, yeah. Would you do the food bank, would you stay inside Marana only? Or would you go to Tucson? I'm going to Tucson, so I don't know much about Marana.
I don't think we would like try and just
Okay.
set size like that.
Yeah.
Because
Because everywhere has food security.
True, I wasn't sure because you district is in Marana, most states, so would you want to work with any Marana district?
we wouldn't represent the entire state, so we can't afford to be states.
Okay, so you do Arizona in general.
He's just running for the 17th district.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ever go to Five Star?
I've never been to that. But I wish I'd been. There it is.
Youngstown, you get 10 a year.
Yeah. The whole plan for this year is to expand to as many parts of Arizona.
Okay. They get a lot of,
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. More people get involved, so, the main goal this year. As we talked about, like, after the last meeting. So,
And I don't know how you could do this, but if you ever have free time, you could maybe come to like different high schools, because at least I know for Ironwood, like political organizations, like as much as I hate to say it, Toilet Paper USA has been at my school before, like trying to like start a charter and get people to join.
and speaking of that, we have, I tried to have this at the University of Arizona, but they didn't, we would have to be sponsored by the club,
Okay.
and so that's.
Like, I don't know how it would
You
be.
can find a club.
We can also, like, accept something.
You can find, there's always, Bash of the Law or something where they have all the, organizations just hang out. Alliance.
We have a list of, or,
Yeah.
to choose from.
Yeah,
For
right.
sure.
So, like, if you want to get like the word out, especially like kids my age, going to like all the different high schools and like Tucson and Marana would be really good. Like, I don't know like how you would be able to like physically go on campus and be like, hey, here's what we're for.
That's the tough part,
Like, but I know like you can do it, because if Toilet Paper USA can, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, we just gotta find the right.
Yeah.
Market channels to do that.
Yeah.
We can't just like show up and like, we're here,
Yeah.
we have
So I
to deal
would
with people
like
first.
look at it.
Oh, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
For sure. We'll
definitely give it a look. And go from there.
I think that would also be like another great channel to like do like the a potential like food drive-through is like the different high schools.
Mhm.
Be like, hey, we're sponsoring this food drive for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or like saying, or another place would be like going to grocery stores saying, hey, like, would you sponsor it or help us do a food drive? But
Mhm.
on the logistics of that, I don't know how because I've only really done ones through schools and through the church I go to.
Mm-hmm. But that's something we can do for sure. Like,
Or just, like I've said, going to like ICS or like with the Southern Arizona Food Bank or just an Arizona Food Bank and saying, hey, like I want to put on a food drive, how would I do that?
mhm.
Like what are some things that are in great need right now? Like non-perishables and also allergen-friendly items. Because like, I essentially kind of have to eat kosher. I'm allergic to pork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I eat it Tuesdays.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never heard of that before. Like,
It's rare.
What kind of reaction do you have?
I get really, really sick to my stomach.
I was good as like the kosher, like,
Yeah,
even for religious.
Yeah. it's just easier to find stuff like halal or kosher because it,
Oh, really?
according to kosher and halal law, it cannot contain any
Pork? You can get some like Muslim stores. They have like a lot of them.
Yeah.
is it any good? I've never tried it. Like, kosher stuff.
Oh, this is everything, but it's more religiously like sanctioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. It's religiously sanctioned.
But,
Like Muslims also have that too.
yeah,
They're very particular. There's more it's case with the
yeah.
that you can't kill them specifically.
You can't
for it.
strangle it.
Yeah, but you can't, yeah. We have to get some less blessings before they kill it.
Or it can't be killed by a non-Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's more good, like it can't be killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't eat something that's been killed by a non-Muslim. The Muslim is more like, in a time of need, like, you like only have access to whole, like, raw food. You just have to like say, hey, I was in a time of need, like, I'm really sorry for this.
Mhm.
And the Jews did kind of the same thing, like, but they do it every time just in case.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Religion.
For sure. Well, back to what we were talking about, yeah, we definitely, it's the first step, well, I wouldn't say the first step, the first step will be like contacting the food bank or any sort of, either like NHS or anything like that, and then trying to contact them in schools, see if they,
Yeah, interested in like helping.
because our party definitely appeals to the youth more than most parties, I would say.
Because it's going to be like my generation.
Yeah, so it's definitely like this
Yeah.
avenue of growth. So, yeah.
Do you have minority laws about how you can involve minors? You can be protected in your
That's
abortion?
what we don't, we don't really,
Is that
obviously we have to be very
Yeah.
careful because of how dangerous it can be. So, before I have a kind of moves on that, because I understand it's delicate.
The age of consent in Arizona is 14.
Yeah. It's either 14 or 16. I can't remember, but I think you're right at 14. Or I am living 14, so.
All right.
I'm pretty young, but
It's a little party.
you're not asking me for surgery
No,
or to get married.
no.
You'd be okay with that. You're 14. You don't, it's wild.
I'm not single anymore, so.
I'm pretty sure the guy I'm dating was me and you.
I would hope not. That's weird. Can you just accept this frustration in the
Yeah.
appropriate way?
I'm like 12 years old, and it would be super weird anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, not exactly, but
Yeah.
With how the kids.
We shouldn't say this online.
I mean, we're not talking about anything that's like
Sure.
inflammatory, which is business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, it is, yeah. Current time, we should talk about minors and their rights all the time, because apparently pedophiles can't do that.
Yeah, we're investigating people who said, hey, it's okay to not follow illegal orders, rather than,
Yeah.
you know, pedophiles.
And it's the president. Actually, not just people, it's just the president.
That's the worst part. If he was president, those files would have been released by now, hopefully, fingers crossed. But
Why?
Knock on wood, knock on wood.
the fact that he is president, the files have been released, which, and it's on everything like power, correct, which is happening.
I'm surprised.
I didn't know if that's gonna happen.
I'm surprised Panama, we haven't been held in contempt of Congress.
I don't know if it's not correct.
Because Congress is full by the majority Republicans. That's
Yeah.
When you talk about restoring like the power back to Congress, how would you want that if you feel like the Republicans are now are like withholding a lot of most like movements, like, I don't know, is the Congress still a good place to go to for
it's either that or continuing with the centralization. Most of our power is centralized with the president right now. And
It's better to have a dictatorship as the majority rather than a minority.
okay. Okay.
because everybody,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let me break that down.
Basically, it's better to have more people have a share of the power. That means like more people get represented
Okay.
rather than just, one guy who was elected with not everyone's vote having the same power.
And the Republicans right now are in the majority in Congress.
Yeah. But with the potential though,
This minority coming up. is that what
yeah,
we're wanting to
because
do?
of like the ineptitude that has been the Republican Party with the whole Epstein files. Like, a lot of people wanted the Epstein files released. That is a bipartisan thing.
Mhm.
But it's just the, like, backing what you said, if Trump was the president, files would have been released. They would have been redacted.
Yeah, the Congress was Republicans. the
Yeah.
House was all Republicans.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have the mess load that has been the redactions. You're not following the Transparency Acts, then only, like, what is obscene is to be redacted, and any victim's names or personally identifiable information is to be redacted. But no, all of that is not being redacted, it's the co-conspirators.
Yeah, at some point, Bonnie said there are no files, which is like, you might as well throw tomatoes at her.
Or tar and feather, like they did back in the old days.
True, I completely why.
Bring back tarring and feathering people. Bring back publicly humiliating our politicians if they don't do their jobs. Oh, wait, they do that themselves.
True, very true. Well, I want to thank you both guys for coming out today. I really appreciate you both.
I said I would.
Yeah. But still, I appreciate you. I just want to give you thanks.
We use the layout, but it's just not working. Like our.
No, yeah, we get,
It's really broken.
yeah, it's, we got nothing else, so, I guess so.
Okay.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed our first party rally. We'll definitely have more in the future, but I would like to thank all of you who watched and has been here, and we'll see you next time for the next Arizona Pirate Party rally. Thank you all.